Hello guys, welcome back to Coding with Bobby, and today we're going to start or kick off our new series on Redux. And now most of you would have used React or maybe Redux as well. So in this video we're going to talk about Redux, what is Redux and why do we need to use it, and we'll slowly move ahead to the advanced topics of Redux and how we can integrate this into our existing applications. So let's just kick into it. So what is actually Redux? Redux is nothing but a JS library which is built for the global state management or centralizing the state for an application. Now we'll see what state is and how does state management works. So what actually is state? State is a JS object that stores the internal properties of an application. Like it is, you can treat it like a JSON object. Like if we are using Instagram, so Instagram is having, that app is having some state, like it will contain my profile pic URL, or maybe it will have my details like name and all, though it can also fetch it from the server, right, from the upstream, but it will have some local state. So that is a state. It is just a JSON object. Now every component in React can have their separate local state which is exclusive to that component, right? So you see this is a sample React app on the right side which has got two components, component A and component B. Now component A has its local state. Suppose it has some for example a dictionary or an object which is like it has value is equal to 1. Now component B has a separate local state which is like a dictionary again, an object which is like value equal to 2. Now we can pass the state from one component to the other component by prop drilling in React. Yeah, we can pass on, right? But prop drilling becomes too cumbersome when we have got too many of the children's, like from one parent we are passing a prop to the next children, then to the next. So that is why we need a global state. Now we have something known as Redux store. And Redux store, we have a global state for all the components. Now the state or the object which is in the Redux store, that is like throughout the component, throughout the app, it is shared between all the components like that. Now Redux only allows single store per application. Yeah, for one React application or Vue.js application you can only have one store. That's it. And store is the single source of truth, and we can only change, and no component can directly change it. Yeah, if any component can change it, then it won't be viable, right? So we have certain mechanism for changing the stuff inside the store or changing the state object, and that we'll see how it can be changed. Yeah. So if you see how Redux works, we'll see what is the actual Figma of it, or actually design pattern of it. So store, like Redux has a store. Store is the main powerhouse, which is this store has got all the object which is in our local state, right? If you take the example of Instagram, then it can have my name, my gender, my all the profile details, maybe URL to my profile pic, to my post and stuff. So this is our store. Now apart from store, we have got two things. One is actions. Now actions are the JavaScript objects that contain information about the changes to an application state, and Redux store can only be updated via actions. So suppose I've got a button on some page and I just click on it, and it should increment the counter. So that clicking on the button is an event. Now what I can do is, when that button is clicked, it's an event, and I can dispatch an action. Now that action will make some changes to my store. That's it. And we have got reducer. Now reducer are the functions that will take my current state or the previous state and the action, and it will return me the new state. Suppose my state has only got one object or one variable which is value, and that is 1. Now I click on the button and some action is dispatched to increment the counter by 1. So my reducer will take that action and the previous state, and it will return me the new state, that is value equal to 2. So we'll just look at this video how actually it is working. So if you clearly notice from my UI, we have got some deposit and withdraw functions we have got. Now the user can even click on deposit, or he can click on withdraw, right? And then what will happen? This is an event. Now an event handler is there, suppose a click event, right? If we click on it, right, and now we have just clicked on it and now it has got dispatched, right? See, as soon as you click on it, the event happens and that event will dispatch an action. See, now see, this has dispatched an action. Now action, as I've told you, it's a JavaScript object. It will have some payload which is 10 here, that is he's trying to deposit $10, and type. So this is a pattern that we follow. It should have a type and a payload. Type will tell us what type of action it is. Like in this example, it's a deposit one or a withdraw one, right? So it's an action to deposit and the payload is 10, and then this will go to our reducer in the store, right? Now reducer, it will take that action and the previous state and now it will return the new state. See, it has updated the state and boom, it has updated the new state like that. Yeah, we'll just see it again. An action is dispatched from the event handler. Now this action will go to the reducer and reducer will update the state and it will return it like that. And now UI has got the updated state. And what is the main use case of it? The main use case is if your application has multiple components that require some props or that require some states that are shared between multiple components, then we can have a global state. That's it. Yeah. So now we'll just move on to a quick example to see how this will work in React and why do we need it. Yeah. So we'll just move on. Yeah. So I've created one sample React app using Next.js. You can just create it like npx create next app, or you can search it on Google. Yeah. So I've got this page. Now I'll create one. If you have used React, you would be knowing how to create a state for a component. So we'll make use of use state. Okay. So use state will have one value and set value, use state and 0. Now what this does is, this is a value which is a variable in case, and this is a state, or it is a property of this counter component. So this is a property of this counter component. Now we'll try to update it. We'll just return it, div, and we'll just print it for first counter, and we'll just print value like that, and we'll have one button, and button is click me, or you can just say increment like that, and we'll have an on click property which is going to be, I'll just create a separate function here, const increment fun, and this will just do set value. This is actually, we are using this use state from the React. It's a hook. If you are not really aware of it, you can just let me know in the comments, or you can just Google it out once. So what it does is, it will take the value or the previous value and we'll just return +1. So we're doing nothing here. We are just making a, you can say, fat arrow function instead of using the normal function. Though it's a function only, if you just wanna see it how it is internally working, it's like we have got one previous value, and like that it is doing return previous value +1 like that. So it is nothing but this. So we'll just use the shortcut form because that is what fat arrow functions are for, and we'll just return it, increment fun like that. Yeah, and we'll just import it, import counter here. Yeah, and I'll just import counter, and I'll just remove it. Yeah, and I'll just create 2 instances of it. Yeah, like that. We'll just run it real quick, and let's just run it in our local host. Yeah, local host is up. Let's just see it, and yeah, okay. Yeah, so what we have done here is, if we closely observe, we have displayed counter twice. Now this counter is a component which has got one state, which is value. Value is a variable in its state. Now these two counters these are rendered on our UI. Now if I increment this, only this one is incremented, and if I increment this, only this one is incremented. And why so? Because when I'm rendering it, now this is a separate component, it has got its own value. Now this is a separate component, it will have its own value. What we can do is, if you want to share some props, we can pass in the values to this, right? Like what we can do is, we can have one state here, right? State here, using the use state like we have done here, and then we can pass it to both of our counters, exactly, right, to change the state of this main or the home, right? But that is the issue. Like we can use it here, but the main issue comes is, if I've suppose got 5 6 7 8 9 10, and these all should increment the one state. Now in that case, instead of having so many of these passing the state to every of these functions or these components, we can have a global state. So now from the next videos, we'll see how we can set up our Redux store, actions and reducers. I hope this video has cleared your doubts why we need Redux for. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys like it. Thank you.